Tupac's last interview, Angie Martinez was making a name for herself in New York's Hot 97's radio station, and this is a radio station that was hosting a lot of the popular music at the time. It's the same radio station that had Funkmaster Flex blowing up The Office when Ye and Jay-Z dropped.
New York City, you listen to me. If you're near a convenience store right now, any type of 24-hour store, go into the store right now and put your hand in the cash register for no reason. Their money is your money.
Angie managed to get this interview while in the middle of the whole beef that the West Coast and the East Coast was having, and this was also around the time that Tupac and Biggie were having beef. If you guys didn't know, the mid-90s was actually the most dangerous era of hip-hop. Gangster music was at its peak, Death Row Records was still a thing, and Tupac had just lost his left nut after getting shot at while on his way to the studio, thinking that Biggie was the one that shot him. So of course, after this shooting, it caused almost a whole war around the whole East Coast. But Angie still managed to get one of her most infamous interviews with Tupac. And according to Angie in this interview, Tupac was very furious after he ended up getting shot and was accusing Biggie of doing it. He was supposedly giving out his side of the story on why he thinks that Biggie was the reason that he ended up getting shot, and was being very open about political views in the typical Tupac fashion. Angie herself has said that Tupac was very passionate and smart in the interview, but very angry as well, with her believing that things were getting way too heated. Her and her team decided not to release the interview after deciding that maybe it was going to create even more tension into the hip-hop scene. So they decided to release 12 minutes out of 2 hours of footage from the interview. And sadly, the only person with this interview is probably Angie and maybe Hot 97, or at least hopefully a couple of members. It is also rumored that Diddy might have bought the tape and destroyed it in order so it wouldn't air, because supposedly Tupac was airing out his sexuality in it. There's also a whole article of Angie telling a story of when she met Tupac in full detail. Future lost videos. There's actually a handful of music videos from Future that actually ended up not being released or ended up just being lost. Some music videos even ended up being leaked, and some even ended up being released later on in time. One of them that's a pretty funny story behind them is for the song Thought There Was a Drought, which you might know because of the famous lyric being, I just fucked your bitch and some Gucci flip flop. And you also might have seen this picture of Future standing in front of two girls kissing and him just kind of smiling. Yeah, this is where this picture originates from. And this video was being directed by A$AP Rocky and A$AP Ferg, which has made me question, why hasn't this video been released yet? Only a really low quality recording of this music video exists after A$AP Ferg went live and screen recorded it. And when I say screen recording, I mean he was literally screen recording another fucking phone screen. The only possible answer that we have of this video being unreleased is from this extra that was in the music video that was supposed to be a cuck. Yeah, that should already tell you why this music video probably wasn't released.
A friend of mine, he shot a lot of shit for Supreme, like he does like their spots and stuff, and he was shooting the Future video, and they needed like a, I don't know the right word for it, so I'm gonna say cuck, but it was I just fucked your bitch in some Gucci flip flops. I was the guy having gotten his bitch fucked, and yeah, the video never came out, and then I was like super sure I was gonna be like the most.
While Future has a handful of music videos that probably haven't seen the light of day, one of the music videos that I really want to talk about is for the song Purple Rain, and I really hope that one day this video gets leaked soon, because based off the little snippet that we had from this music video, it just looks amazing. The only person that I really think has this music video is by none other than vlone. Vlone is a very important person in this video, so take note of him. And the reason I say that is because vlone recently has been talking about him trying to go after any future media or any future lost media. This including even an unseen music video for the song Throwaway. I would explain the rest of the music videos that have been released, but I much rather you guys watch this video that explains them more. Do What You Want video. This is a Lady Gaga video featuring R. Kelly, who's most famously known for pissing on girls, and his I Believe I Could Fly song. And this song and video was recorded shortly after R. Kelly was being exposed for being a predator. The video ended up staying unreleased since the R. Kelly hate began to grow, and the Me Too movement was just starting. Some may say that this song and video was forced by the label to get some heat off R. Kelly, but this video is just way too much, and it's oversaturated with too much sexual themes, and it also has some subliminal messages about sexual assault, which is weird considering that one of the photographers actually ended up being accused of sexual harassment. Currently, a full censored music video has been leaked, but other than that, that's about it. It's safe to say that this video will never be released. The XXXTentacion Brain Bakery mag interview is an interview that was teased by Brain Bakery themselves shortly after X's death, and sadly no other footage or audio has been recovered or resurfaced online. Only 2 snippets have been released by Brain Bakery themselves, so it's best to say that they're the only ones with this interview. It's been rumored that XXXTentacion was crying in this interview, but that seems to be debunked. The only answer that we got about this interview not being released is because X didn't like the stuff that he was saying in the interview, and he also changed his view on things. Sadly, there has been no announcements about the release for this video, and it seems like there isn't any plans for it to be released. In 1995 on the Hot 97 radio station, Biggie had called in to tell his Brooklyn people, or goons, that some West Coast rappers, that being Snoop Dogg and the Dog Pound, were about to shoot a music video in New York for their new hit song by the name of New York, New York. And Biggie was asking who let this happen, considering that the whole war behind the East Coast and the West Coast was going on. Biggie did eventually drop the location of where they were at. It's also supposed that Biggie gave out the location of the trailer where the Dog Pound was staying at, and some of his gang members did end up pulling up, but nobody ended up getting hurt. I ain't gonna lie, the 90s was fucking crazy, because imagine you just shooting a music video with your homies, and then next thing you know, you tune into the radio and some motherfuckers is straight up doxing your ass. No audio, no tape recording has resurfaced online about this phone call, and it's kind of some bullshit that nobody has a recording of this phone call, because it's probably one of the most known stories in hip-hop. Story goes that after a couple months after Nas had dropped Ether, a diss track towards Jay-Z, a poll was hosted on Hot 97 regarding who had the best diss track, Jay-Z or Nas. Jay-Z was Super Ugly and Nas with Ether. And according to anyone who was around at the time, and whoever was even lucky to tune in the radio when they went live, has said that Jay-Z lost the poll, and he was on the phone when all of this had happened. He was supposedly in the studio in the middle of this phone call when he had accepted his defeat and seemed to be crying, judging by the tone of his voice from these few clips that we have.
Would you think Ether was a hot joint?
I would be a little, like me as a guy, like I would listen to the last verse and be like, wow. Like, dude, wow. You understand? Like it's uneasy. You know?
Okay.
Like, I mean, even like with the, it's far, man. It's very vulgar, you know what I'm saying?
Can we talk about Summer Jam for a second?
Yeah.
Lil Peep's stolen laptop. Lil Peep's stolen laptop is said to be a laptop that was stolen from young Cortex. He left his bag unattended and somebody came by and snatched it or took it on accident. Nothing is known about this laptop or what it could possibly be. And making everything inside of that laptop possibly lost media. The most we know about this laptop is that it contained an unreleased mixtape and some photos and some footage for a walk away as the door slams video.
That same night, I left my computer in a backpack on the side of the street, and I'm pretty sure.
And that video is up there.
And we got an unreleased video, walk away as the door slammed, on that laptop. Someone stole that laptop. It's like 2 years old.
Juice WRLD footage or Juice WRLD studio footage. Chris Long has millions of unreleased videos of Juice WRLD freestyling, meeting Future, studio sessions, and even vlog-like videos that will probably feed the Juice WRLD community for a good few years. It's unknown if all these videos will one day resurface, but with the crazy loyal fan base that Juice has, and with the constant links that the community has, I wouldn't doubt if a couple of these videos one day end up resurfacing. So far, the only way you can see a piece of unreleased Juice WRLD videos is by seeing this YouTube re-upload of Chris Long's Instagram live where he's showing off the unreleased footage.
You don't know what's fake. You don't know where from. This brand new day too. Just got
Lucki in Japan is pretty self-explanatory. Lucki, or at the time Lucki X, had gotten an opportunity to perform in China by Bloodsboy, a known artist and event organizer based in China. He had invited Lucki out there for a short tour for 3 days. First show being in December 3rd, 2015 in Dada, Beijing. Second show on Friday, December 4th, 2015 at NASA Chengdu. And his final show being December 5th, 2015 at Arkham, Shanghai. Bloodboy says that Lucki was very shy and he had some drug problems being out there in China, with his performance being very lazy. He also confirmed having footage of Lucki's performance and him being out there in China. But sadly, his phone got outdated, meaning it got old, and he had to get a new phone, losing everything. If you want to know some more information about Lucki being out in China, you should check out this video because it's pretty funny. This man has not changed at all since his comeback. Kanye West 60 Minutes interview. It was an interview with Bob Simmons from 60 Minutes after the release of Jesus Walks, and was breaking down the process of the song and addressing the backlash that he was getting. He was also making his quote-unquote dope-ass beat. Now, you'd imagine someone probably would have downloaded this video while it was uploaded on YouTube for a good couple of years, considering that Kanye has a huge list of fans. But nobody seemed to have downloaded this video while it was uploaded to YouTube before it got taken down. With that being, only 2 clips from this video have been publicly available. The Playboi Carti documentary. August 3rd, I want to say, there was a huge leak of supposed documentary B-roll that was leaked in the Carti Hub Discord server, and it contained at least 4 hours of footage. And sadly, only 2 hours have been posted publicly, but you could probably find the extra 2 hours somewhere on the internet. Now, with this massive leak and Carti being known for being private, it's unlikely if a documentary on him will ever be releasing anytime soon. A whole lot of Red documentary at one point was in discussion, but probably got canned when Kanye came around. The only person that could have a documentary on Carti or working on it would be Joy Division. After the leak of the supposed documentary footage, Joy Division posted on his Instagram story that his vault is where all the real footage and all the grills are at. The Lil Peep Lost interview was an interview by Vice with Emma Garland by the name of First Date with Lil Peep, where Lil Peep took them to interview him in a graveyard. And he spoke about his past, his come up, and some of his relationships. But sadly, he only got an article released with the interview questions and some pictures along with it, due to the video and audio being corrupted or lost. And it seems like they haven't even tried to recover since the interview got released, so it's best to say that it's gone forever. The XXXTentacion photo shoots. While on his rise to popularity, a very young and early XXXTentacion would have many photo shoots with various photographers that probably seen his vision of him being a successful artist, leading to him having a handful of photo shoots, some of these being for merch or for his own personal SoundCloud or for his own personal Instagram. These pictures may not be as difficult to find as it was in the earlier years of the Lost X community, but thanks to vlone, a good amount of them have been acquired by vlone. Some of these even including a photo shoot and a possible video for his song Shut Up and Save Me. Currently, vlone is selling a huge pack of these photo shoots for a pretty penny, but he does plan on slowly releasing these pictures one by one in the near future. vlone does some crazy ass research, and it takes him almost a whole day just to get a hold of a photographer or to get a whole lead. So of course he needs to make some money off of it. Recently, a good handful of pictures have been released from vlone himself on Instagram, but you could go through a bunch of XXXTentacion fan pages that might have the more recently released photos. In 2002, on the Anger Management Tour, Eminem had signed a deal with Joe Francis, creator of Metro Films, who was also the creator of the Girls Gone Wild media. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically just a Bang Buzz, but the rapper version. And according to Joe Francis' biography, they ended up renting out $1 million bus, decked out with Girls Gone Wild logos, to the point that it ended up looking like a billboard. And it's unknown why Eminem ended up ordering to not release the film, considering that it was most likely ready for release, since it took almost the whole Anger Management Tour just to make this film. It's said by Joe Francis himself that maybe Eminem felt insecure about his height, and considering he was 5'3" next to Joe Francis being a giant 6'3" monster, that could be a possibility. Seems like nobody has access to this video but Joe Francis himself, so it's not know if it's ever going to be released or if it's just going to become a private collector's item or maybe just lost media. Behind the Music VHS Lost Episodes. This was a music documentary series that run on VH1, which is a cable network that's been running since 1985, and this series would have covered artists, DJs, eras of music, and even movies that had a cultural impact on the music industry. They would also interview rappers or singers about their backstories and also the process of their music and what certain lyrics meant. The crazy thing about this series is that they would only air their episodes once and never again, leading to 244 of those episodes to be lost to time or not recorded. Some of these being with Lil Wayne, Selena, Biggie, Britney Spears, the Backstreet Boys, 50 Cent, that is actually partially lost, and DMX. A good chunk of episodes have been found recently, but it seems like a good amount of them have been lost unless someone finds a random tape recording with them. The XXXTentacion email is a very important email in the XXXTentacion community. It holds almost every early song that X made from the XXX Unmastered era to a bunch of other lost singles. This email has since become a girl in the community. Sadly though, recently Google announced that they would be deleting any old emails that haven't been active since, I believe, 2020. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this has since caused an outrage in the XXXTentacion community, since nobody has access to this email but Cleo herself, who is XXXTentacion's own mother, and his other family members. vlone has made a post on Instagram and on Discord to tell Cleo about logging into the account before it gets deleted, but it's unknown if anything has been done yet. A good amount of XXXTentacion lost media is still on that email, so hopefully it does get recovered soon. DMX versus Jay-Z pool hall video. This is a rap battle video between DMX and Jay-Z in a pool hall where, according to the people that were attending this rap battle, DMX and Jay-Z were going at each other so hard, no pause, to the point that one of them ended up pulling out a gun. And this is a short recording of this altercation from Big L, but it's literally in such small clips. It seems like someone went through a whole phone-length video and just cut out their favorite clips. But for some weird reason, the gang members that DMX was rolling with didn't let anyone record, because at the time, DMX's stuff was copyrighted. Maybe they didn't want people to make a bootleg CD out of this and make some profit off of it. This leading to Big L being the only one with the footage, and there was rumors going around that Jay-Z's label bought the tape and destroyed it or ordered for it to never be released to the public.
The infamous battle that we had between Jay-Z and DMX in the pool hall in the Bronx. And, you know, Big L was taping, and Wyatt was like, yo, don't tape us because our shit ain't copyrighted. And I was like, so we didn't take any of DMX's parts, but we got all of Jay's and everything else taped by Big L.
Playboi Carti studio sessions. Now, these sessions have been leaking a lot lately, and it's unknown if any of this footage is B-roll just for the documentary. But with the studio sessions that we have, it comes with a whole bunch of unreleased or unheard songs that Carti was recording. One of my favorite songs being Feds Watching Me, which was a song produced by the GOAT, Richie South. But Joy Division seems to have the true grills, because after going on Our Generation Music and showing Raheem, the one interviewing him, a snippet of Carti recording Rockstar made for a whole lot of red, it kind of confirms that Joy Division has a lot of stuff that we probably don't even know about.
You feel me?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is,
Lucki days before studio sessions. An Instagram account by the name of Bass Lucki posted a video of Lucki in the studio recording for his upcoming album. At the time, that was called Better Days, before he ended up changing it to Days Before. And it seems to have been a full studio session that he filmed at a studio by the name of The Crib. I have made a previous video where I ended up interviewing the owner or a worker that used to work at the studio, but he has confirmed that there was some stuff filmed there. From a couple other fightings that I've been able to find on Instagram, I've also found this studio footage of Lucki recording for the song Starstruck and for the song Dog Food. But I'm not very sure if it was recorded in the same studio. It just has the same layout and the same colors. Metro Thuggin was a collab album between Young Thug and Metro Boomin, and it seems like it has a whole bunch of promotional items that was made but never got released to the public, got scrapped, or maybe they didn't like it. There could have also been some CDs for this possible album, considering there's a whole ass CD case and a CD with the design of Metro Boomin and Young Thug standing next to each other. And this CD could possibly be floating around somewhere in Atlanta or somewhere in between, and their crew was reminiscing about the good old time before Thug and Metro Boomin had some beef. And if you didn't know, this beef also led to the beef that Future and Thug had, where Thug posted on his Twitter saying, "Boy, quit dropping all that bullshit music." Like I said earlier, there's absolutely nothing known about the CD. The most that we know is that it didn't release because of the beef that Young Thug and Metro Boomin were having, and probably that's what led to the cancellation of this release. I know Young Thug has some more lost stuff out there, so if you guys could please leave a comment down below and tell me some Young Thug lost media, please do. I'll make a whole video on it, or I'll make a whole second part of this video, but I definitely want to know some stuff about Young Thug. The Eminem Rap Olympic lost. In 1997, Eminem attended the 97 Rap Olympics. For those who don't know, this is basically an event where a bunch of underground rappers would go battle each other and would crown who was the best rapper or who was the best battle rapper. And most times, a lot of people would attend these shows, and a whole bunch of managers and a bunch of label people would attend them. This story is already widely known, so I would be really surprised if you didn't know that Eminem attending this event would get him all the fame and attention that he needed to change his life around and to work with Dr. Dre. See, it wasn't that easy though. Eminem did luckily go to the end round, and he did come in second, so that means that there was at least one rapper that managed to out-rap Eminem. And it's kind of weird because the only footage that we have of Eminem in the 97 Rap Olympics is of him winning, and there's not any footage of him losing, even though it's been reported that it was filmed by a professional filming crew. But nobody has been able to resurface this footage, although it has been theorized that maybe the footage was sold to Eminem's crew or Dr. Dre and it got destroyed. It should be known that there is a lot of Eminem fanboys out there that consider Eminem, you know, the best battle rapper or some shit like that. I've seen a really weird Reddit comment saying that Eminem was basically, you know, mixing and matching pre-written raps, while otherwise was straight up just freestyling his. But yeah, so far no mentions or no release dates for any of these tapes to ever be released. I don't think anyone in the public even seems to have these tapes. Probably otherwise, or maybe, you know, a producer that was there. There is a Reddit account on the Eminem Reddit page claiming that an HBO director owns this footage and doesn't plan on releasing it until he retires. Sadly, no name was given, and the only info that we have is that it's a well-known HBO and NBC reality TV producer, and he at one point was working with the filming crew that recorded his 1997 Rap Olympics, and he ended up just taking the footage and never releasing it. And that's how he ended up getting this footage in his hands. Kept it with him while growing up in the film industry. And he doesn't answer any questions regarding the said footage, since this Redditor did ask before, but he ended up getting blocked. Although he did mention that there is someone out there claiming to have a bootleg of the 1997 Rap Olympics. He's claiming that they are sadly selling it for at least $1,000. The Jay-Z and E-Moneybags phone call. Jay-Z had gotten on a phone call with a rapper by the name of E-Moneybags, confronting Jay-Z about another rapper taking his name, H-Moneybags, and saying basically that he took his swag. Jay-Z, in his typical egotistical and nonchalant way, he says, "Man, I don't give no fucks." And according to Majesty and Homicide, E-Moneybags took this very personal and started sending death threats to Jay-Z over the phone. And Jay-Z was reportedly very scared that he didn't even want to come outside. It's been said that this whole interaction was filmed, but nobody has been able to find the tapes lately. To be honest, I think this is one piece of lost media that will probably never be found, or probably just doesn't exist, and seems to be another rap story that we'll probably never know if it's true or not. I really recommend you guys watch this really well-made YouTube video. It gives you more information about it. Dr. Dre's Vital Series. Dr. Dre's Vital Series used to have been a canceled Apple Music series that would have focused on Dr. Dre's life. Seriously. Just knowing that this could have been Apple Music's first billion-dollar series is just insane, because this series would have been kind of like a sitcom and would focus on Dr. Dre's life or the problems that he was having as a billionaire. The first billionaire rapper. Well, kind of. And how he deals with his problems. And according to the Lost Media Wiki, it was reported to have very excessive gun violence, women doing lines of cocaine, and an intense orgy scene that led the investors to just shelve the project. No other information is known about this series other than a short casting list including Ian McShane, Sam Rockwell, and Mike K. Williams from The Wire. And only a couple photos of the series seems to exist thanks to the IMDb page. But it seems like Apple really doesn't want anyone to find this series since no one seems to have any information about it or any tapes or pictures of it. The Deftones Around the Fur video. Steph Carpenter shot a video for the song Around the Fur in Japan in 1998 for the famous band Deftones. But unfortunately, this video has never seen the light of day and probably never will because of the explicit nature of the video, containing extreme nudity and extensive drug use. But the funny thing is that if you have the CD for White Pony, you can actually see a couple stills from this music video. If you insert the CD into your laptop and use an enhanced program and skip all the way to Chino's part in the song Indulge, you can actually see a little visualizer that teases the music video. But sadly, that may be the only piece of media that we have from this music video because sadly no leads or any attention has been brought to this music video, which is surprising because considering a lot of people look for Metallica's lost tapes and a whole bunch of other, rock band stuff, Deftones seems to be a much more obscure topic. The XXXTentacion sex tapes. The XXXTentacion sex tapes are pretty self-explanatory. Bruno Dickens would produce and film and possibly release a lost sex tape for XXXTentacion's Groupie Lust. What is Groupie Lust, you may ask? Well, it was a porn series that Bruno Dickens had where he would have famous influencers or underground rappers to come over and film some pornos for him. And we got a good amount of them available publicly, like the one for Ski Mask and Slum God and Denzel Curry. But according to a couple interviews from XXXTentacion, it's been said by himself that he recorded a good chunk of pornos for Bruno Dickens. And none of these videos seem to be publicly available or anyone seems to have them. Only person that seems to have these videos none other than vlone, which he has confirmed in the Discord server. But fun fact for any of you guys that want to spend some money, he is selling these tapes. The Carti and Frank Ocean studio sessions. August 15, 2024, Evan Mock went live on his Instagram for 30 seconds and was reportedly playing a snippet of a Frank Ocean and Playboi Carti song, along with some studio footage or could possibly be some documentary footage. Now you're probably asking yourself, how did this guy manage to get all this footage if both Carti and Frank like to remain mysterious? And that's because Evan Mock is actually a friend of Frank Ocean, and it also seems like he's done a couple of photo shoots for Carti as well. Sadly though, it seems like this guy and Joy Division are the last two people with some valuable footage since the last guy got all his footage leaked. In the early 90s, Eazy-E started a radio show by the name of The Ruthless Radio Show, and it would be hosted on 92.3 FM, where he would have famous people like actors and rap artists come up, interview them, and would often play unreleased or unfinished music from artists from Ruthless Records. He even at one point had Ice Cube on his show shortly before his death, but sadly this radio show would only run until 1995 when Eazy-E would sadly pass away. But with this being known, a good handful of recorded tapes have been found with some recordings of this radio show, one even including a full uncut recording of Eazy-E arguing with several people from Death Row Records on the phone, and sadly a good amount of these have been lost since they haven't been resurfaced on the public yet, or maybe someone does have a tape of them but maybe they're just not aware of them being lost. Another piece of lost media from the radio is Snoop Dogg's radio show that seems to have just been wiped from the world since nothing has resurfaced from this radio show but mentions on the newspaper. And I kinda at all for the life of me find this fucking newspaper, bro. I looked around everywhere. If you find it, please link it somewhere before. Grimes Be a Body video. January 31st, 2012, Claire Butcher, better known as Grimes, released her album Vision with some really good reviews, and following up to this hype, she began working on many music videos for her album. Songs like Genesis and Oblivion got music video releases, but one song that was supposed to get a release but never ended up releasing was the song Be a Body. This video was starring the dancer Muse Hannah Meyerberg, sorry if I fuck up the name, that sadly never seemed to get a release because it got shelved for many years without fans ever getting an explanation until many many years later. But how do we even know that this video exists if it never even got released? Well, that's because in 2012, Grimes would post a various of pictures of Hannah's finger tattoos that were meant for the music video. And the following year, she would tease the video again with screenshots of the video. And from the looks of it, it looks like it would have been very explicit, along with a caption saying that the budget for the video was at least $136. In a now deleted tweet, it was also revealed that this video was shot before they were signed to the 4AD label in January 2012. And with them signing to this label, it would sadly lead to the show of this video, and it was left unexplained for many years up until 2022 when Grimes reissued the Visions vinyl for its 10th anniversary. With this vinyl came a package that came along with a handwritten note from Grimes explaining why the video never came to release and how much the song meant to them. And it reads, "I adore this song. I feel so weird about it now that we shot a video for it, and it's starring my beautiful friend Hannah Meisenberg, who was a ballerina. And then she passed away before we could even put out the video. And so we just never put it out because it felt exploitative of her death or something. I think everyone was just really traumatized and didn't know how to handle it. I remember she did a stick and poke tattoo that read 'Be a Body' onto her knuckles while we were making this video. I miss her a lot, and she's always tied to this song for me. Dedicated to her for sure." The XXXTentacion music videos were music video ideas that X had planned on dropping or just never ended up releasing. While X was a shy person and didn't really like cameras, there is still a handful of unseen or unreleased footage that we have yet to see. One of them being an unknown video that X tweeted where he needed a video editor, and no info or anything is known about this video. Even the editor reportedly that he never got anything. According to vlone, the photo shoots that X had for both his songs Save Me and Shut Up have some behind the scenes or vlog type footage that haven't been seen yet, and he currently has a hold of it but is selling it for about $5,000. Something I think you guys should also know is that X planned a lot of videos, and he planned at least 2 videos in his early career, those being a video for Rip Roach and a video for one of his songs on the Nobody's mixtape, which by the way was also deleted by X. And with this, sadly there's no other media for X other than just the photo shoots. I do recommend you guys watching this video that will go more deep into the lost media of X. Leading up to the release of the Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem would write all his songs on a Britney Spears notebook containing various of lyrics from Eminem, each one being for his own song or for its own album. Lyrics for an upcoming D12 album was even written on this note, but Eminem actually ended up losing this notebook. And not much is known about this notebook or where it could be at. Nobody has even been able to find a picture of it. There was an interview about Eminem talking about it, but I can't even find that clip anymore. The Slim Shady EP merch. In December 10, 1997, and at the time broke and hungry Eminem was getting ready to release his long-awaited EP that he had worked so hard on, and decided that he was going to throw a release party, and of course he had to make some profit of this. So Eminem or his team decided to make various merchandise, including t-shirts, vinyls, CDs, bumper stickers, cassettes, and even a chance to get a signed poster from Eminem himself. And according to this flyer, you would get all these items before stores even got them, and at a very low price. So no duh, you're gonna go out and get yourself a t-shirt and a vinyl and possibly a signed poster from an early Eminem, right? Well, that's not the case for M. Seems like the t-shirt sales weren't that good, or even the cassettes or anything mentioned in this flyer, since anything related to this album is very rare. Shit, I doubt you can even find an official Slim Shady EP vinyl or even a fucking cassette tape. The only time that these items have been seen in the public eye is when someone sold a 1 out of 50 of these shirts bundled with a bumper sticker and the flyer for the show, which by the way, the flyer alone sold for $1,000 in early 2020. And I'm talking about the flyer promoting the event, not even the Eminem poster. And the only reason we know that this merchandise is real is because Eminem can be seen performing with one of the few t-shirts back in, I believe, 1998 or 1997. And yeah, that about does it for the Iceberg. I actually made this shit myself, so if y'all don't fuck with it, then you know that's my fault. But if you did fuck with the video, please leave a like, please leave a comment, bro. It does help the video a lot. And please do subscribe, bro. Follow me on IG because I be hella active on there. I be posting hella shit on there, and I really want y'all to catch up with me up there. So for real, I'll be uploading really soon, don't worry.